Welcome to this edition of Safety First. I'm your host, Tim Kelley, joined today by Chief Animal Control Officer Meghann Lanier. Thanks for being with us today, Chief Lanier.
Thank you for having us.
And of course, today we're here to talk about the unattended tethering ordinance that will go into effect September the 1st as approved by Suffolk City Council. Yes. And Chief Lanier, if you can talk about what this ordinance is going to mean for the citizens here in the city of Suffolk.
That it will now be illegal to tether your dog unattended. That means that while the dog is tethered outside, that somebody has to be outside with the dog at all times.
Okay. Now, what alternatives are there to if you don't like, you can't do that, you can't work the tethering, and of course, obviously, the unattended part of it is, if someone's going to work and they left their dog outside with that, that's not allowed, of course, anymore because of the unattended part of that. But what other alternatives are there to someone in a situation like that, perhaps?
You could build an outdoor kennel for your dog. You could fence in your yard. There's always the option of sending your dog to doggy daycare or making your dog an inside dog.
Okay. Now, of course, with the alternatives that you mentioned, what are some of the requirements that citizens need to be aware of when they're considering how they're going to approach this for their own particular situation?
If you're considering to keep your dog in an outside kennel, there are certain things that you have to provide per state code, and that is that your dog will have to have adequate feed, adequate water, adequate shelter, adequate space if it's in a primary enclosure, adequate exercise, adequate care and treatment, and veterinary care when needed to prevent suffering and disease transmission.
Okay. Now, if a citizen is in a situation where he or she cannot keep their dog, what are some suggestions you may have for them? What can they do?
They can try to find the dog another home. Maybe they have a friend that's interested in keeping the dog. Right. They can try and contact a rescue organization to see if they would be willing to help them place the dog. Or they can always bring the dog down to Suffolk Animal Care Center and surrender the dog over. We just ask that they bring proof of residency and a photo ID, and then also any of their vaccine information or vet records that they have on that animal.
Okay. Now, if someone would like more information about the ordinance or any of the changes, or really anything in general about animal care here in the city of Suffolk, what's a good number for them to call?
They can call down to the Animal Care Center, and that phone number is 757-514-7855.
Okay. And of course, you also have a great website, and I believe there's also some information there as well that citizens can turn to just to maybe answer some general questions about it. But certainly if you want the specifics, call the Animal Care Center, as you noted.
Yes.
Now, if someone is out and about and they see a situation where they're witnessing or viewing after September the 1st unattended tethering of a dog here in the city of Suffolk, what can they do? What should they do?
They can call our police non-emergency number. The phone number is 757-923-2350 and press option 0, and then they'll just have to provide the information, the address, and where the dog is located and everything.
Okay. So before we wrap up, I want to go over again one more time what unattended tethering means as of September 1st here in the city of Suffolk. How can you describe it again to dog owners or potential dog owners, what they need to consider after September 1st? That
after September 1st, it will be illegal to tether your dog unattended. That means that at any time if your dog is tethered outside or on a runner, that the dog has to have somebody outside with the dog, and a violation of this is a Class 4 misdemeanor.
Okay. And again, one more time, the number for Suffolk Animal Care in case someone would have a question.
The phone number there is 757-514-7855.
Okay. Chief Lanier, thanks for being with us today on this edition of Safety First.
Thank you.
And that will do it for this edition. We'll see you next time.